Well, there we have it. This will be my final open water report of the 25 season. It is now November. The boat's being put away. Fully understand there's opportunities to catch some open water fish still. Many of you are still going to be out doing it. Kudos, go get them, chase down some fish, have some fun. Myself, going to regroup here in the month of November, really focus on the upcoming ice fishing season, do some stuff on the business side of things, just some things I'm learning as I go back on my own here for my first year. A lot of cool stuff. So before I talk about what happened this last week, thank you so much to everyone who supported me this entire open water season. It was a grind, literally hundreds of trips, met some amazing people, fished with some people I fished with before, rekindled some friendships. There's a lot of things that happened this open water season, something to be very, very thankful for, very blessed to be able to do this. And just thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Blast, phenomenal questions, tons of awesome engagement, some memorable fish catches, some memorable non-fish catches. That's just kind of how the ball rolls sometimes, right? So everything from breaking ice in March in my boat on Lake Minnetonka to literally fishing this week, the last few days on Lake Minnetonka, thinking that we could see ice again in a few weeks. So whole open water season behind us. So what happened this last week? What did we do to catch our fish? You know, water temps actually stayed relatively warm. They teetered cooler and cooler as the week went on, as you would expect, but we still didn't get crazy cold days. We haven't seen any snow yet. I was looking at a memory last year on Halloween with our kiddos. We're trudging through snow. 2 nights ago, we weren't. We were in 40 degrees, light mist, comfortable. We trick-or-treated for almost 2-3 hours. The kids got an entire Clam bucket full of candy. It was like a different year for sure. Well, it was a different year. Water temps stayed upper 40s, low 50s. Nothing really dropped drastically. So a lot of our fish, especially our walleyes, our game fish, continue to kind of linger into that in-between zone. They're not quite thinking it's let's stage for winter, and it's not clearly early fall patterns anymore. So they're starting to move into some of that shallow structure. You could pick them off. You had a zig and zag. There was a smorgasbord of fish up shallow. We've talked about it: moving baits, spinner baits, chatter baits, swim baits. All these things are catching fish. The live bait game is starting to become more and more apparent for the walleye side of things. Minnows, suckers, chubs, things like that, fatheads, slowing down, pitching baits around specific shallow pieces of structure. Timing becomes of the essence this time of year. A lot of walleyes are being caught at low light periods after dark. Water's clearing up. It does that this time of year. It clears up shallow. Bait moves in, so does the game fish. And you're seeing more and more success during the weaning hours of light and into the evening after dark hours. So that tends to be when you're seeing most of your walleye activity. Not to say you can't go pluck one off middle of the day. Dirtier water, middle of the day bite, crankbait type stuff, slow pulling rigs. That's going to be your application for the dirty water midday bite. Evening, a little more aggressive. You can cast, you can pitch, you can dance, you can move to get some of your fish to bite. Now, the pike, the bass, they're kind of all over the place. The bass are still holding on to any shallow water green weeds, whether it's coontail, milfoil, the clumpiest, the better. The bass are holding on to these specific pieces of structure. And don't think there's not 3, 4, 5, 6 fish in one little clump the size of my four-wheeler there. There are fish just stacked up in specific small areas. They're starting to group up a little bit onto ever-lingering structure up shallow, for be it weeds in our area. That's what we're targeting right now. Same areas we're finding our panfish. Once again, this last week, we leaned quite a bit on crappies, on bluegills. It was a blast. It was a riot. They were biting. They were flourishing. They were hungry. There's quality size fish mixed in. We just pitched small little plastic baits in and around shallow cover. Same spots we just mentioned for the bass. That's where your crappies are. That's where your bluegills are. Some are starting to slide to the weed line, the weed edge. I'm not talking 25 feet of water like we did in July. I'm talking 7 to 12 feet. They're starting to move out to where the weeds are the thickest but deepest. And we're catching plenty of fish either A, on the weed tips, or if you're fishing water that doesn't have as much of an abundance of weeds, let's say gravel, dirty, stained water, west side of Lake Minnetonka, they're relating to those harder gravel spots. Seems to be 7 to 12 feet is your key area. So I get that question a lot this week. What are the depths? I would say key in on 7 to 12 feet if you're going out there trying to catch crappies. Talking to other anglers in the area on other bodies of water and lakes in the region, they're saying the same thing. So it sounds like there's some consistencies there. Now, we might see things change. I think I saw a week from now, we're going to see lows in the 20s. So things are going to drastically cool off, and we're going to see a change in fishing pattern. And I would expect to see some of that start to stall out and some of our fish start to move deep, start to think winter patterns, because what's going to happen close to Thanksgiving, we might see our first trickle of ice. We're going to start thinking winter. We'll hit you with that later. So we're going to come at you all ice fishing season with a weekly fishing report as well. Talk about what's going on, what's happening. You're not going to not see me here in the next month. I'm going to be doing a lot of other videos to get you excited about the upcoming ice fishing season. So that's what we're up against. It was a great open water season. Thank you so much for following along. It was a blast. Keep the questions coming. Hopefully all of you that follow along in the ice fishing season, because you're excited for setting hooks through holes in the ice, which I know I am. We had the first ice fishing show last weekend, the North Metro Ice Show. What a blast. I'll have a booth at the St. Paul Ice Show as well. So make sure you come on out and check us out there. Speaking of ice fishing, we've teased a little bit in the last couple days. I posted a video yesterday about my Matt Johnson Outdoors, my MJO series of rods through Thorne Brothers. 3 options, super excited. There was no lack of effort in these, I can promise. Several renditions of tweaks and design changes to get to where they are. Everyone knows Lonnie Murphy. Well, if you don't, you absolutely should. He's the man behind the rods at Thorne Brothers. Came up with 3 models in the MJO series. I tested all these thoroughly. The crappie noodle, we talked about this one on the video yesterday. This is your power noodle blank. I took some off the tip. I like a tighter load. Great guide train, REC guide train, solid backbone. This is your get after it spoon rod. This is what I use for pinhead pros. Everyone's asking, this is the rod I'll be fishing with. Little 4.5-inch soft touch handle. This weighs literally almost nothing. Inline reel, spinning reel, crappie noodle. That's going to be your workhorse for a lot of your panfish, spoon fishing. Someone asked, I sure hope you have a spring bobber rod in the lineup. Well, I do. I haven't really teased this one a ton yet. This is called the Stinger. It's got the quiver stick blank. I love that blank. Thorne Brothers nailed it. It's kind of your hybrid light action blank. I went with the medium light spring because this is designed for tungsten. A lot of springs in the market are just too light. Medium light allows me to fish all the applications of tungsten. Solid backbone, good parallel bend, and we got that 4.5-inch handle. Again, I'm using an inline reel, super, super nice. This is called the Stinger. This is going to be your all-purpose, truly all-purpose, versatile spring bobber rod. The length comes in perfect. It's not too long, not too short. Going to be absolutely deadly for bluegills and crappies. I leaned on that rod a lot last year as well. And last but not least, the walleye noodle. So this is going to be your walleye noodle rod. I use this for catfish too. You're going to have a limber tip, right? Just like your power noodle for panfish, but this is their dead stick blank. A little bit off the tip, tighten it up. REC recoil guide train, because this is designed to be a jigging rod. Super sensitive tip, solid backbone for even the largest fish. And we got that longer soft touch Syncork handle, super nice, feels great in the hand, matches up perfect with any of your favorite spinning reels, and away you go. This is going to be your workhorse spoon rod, jig and wrap rod, rip and wrap rod, whatever it might be. This rod's going to get it done as a sight detector. Oh man, I'm just excited to just load up on a big old walleye, big old channel cat, whatever it might be. That's going to be the walleye noodle. So those are the 3 rods from the MJO series. I'll dive deeper into these as we get going, but had to tease it a bit as we end out the open water reports. Start thinking ice fishing. So thanks again. Follow along as we move into the month of November with a lot of tip-driven stuff, and then we'll come back at you with more reports once we get back on the ice. Thanks again. Can't appreciate you enough. Go out there and have a great fall. Be safe, and we'll talk again soon.